Can a physical therapist be an entrepreneur? You know, when I started my physical therapy practice back in 2002, I was not a physical therapist. If you haven't heard that story, let me know in the comments. I'll find the video where I explain that whole background. But the idea was I was not a physical therapist. I had recruited a physical therapist. I had a dream of owning a physical therapy business, but I wasn't a physical therapist myself. I was a strength coach, personal trainer. I had a little personal training studio, and I realized I need to bring in the service of physical therapy. So, can a physical therapist be an entrepreneur? I'm going to say historically, it wasn't the mindset of people that become physical therapists. When I think back 20, 30 years ago, the classic therapist was an overachiever, typically a type A personality. They wanted to do everything and they wanted to do it right, but they were in the service mode. They weren't thinking business. They were looking for a stable job. They were looking for job security, consistent pay, and they were getting paid well relative to pay rates at the time. Many times I've heard the story that getting into physical therapy school at one time was more difficult than becoming a doctor, physician, MD. I don't know if there's any validity to that, but that's what I always heard growing up. So historically, the profession of physical therapy did not attract entrepreneurs. But now, 2024 forward, physical therapists are realizing that not only do they have an amazing skill set to help people, which is why most of them got into the profession, but they're also have the skill set to be an amazing entrepreneur. You know, when you look at it, what does an entrepreneur do? They identify a problem that doesn't have a solution or doesn't have a good enough solution. Then they develop a plan to solve the problem, and then they implement that plan by building the solution. So physical therapists are uniquely positioned with all of those skill sets to carry that process out exactly as I just laid it. So I think, yes, physical therapists absolutely have the raw talent, the materials to become entrepreneurs. I think what they need is to learn the language, to understand the community and the philosophy around building a business, and then develop the skills that allow them to build the business, apply their physical therapy knowledge to business development, and then exit the business like any great entrepreneur does.